Coach, is there anybody in here that you don't like?
No, sir.
Please tell them, because some of them think you got something in for them, right? Right? The guys that never make eye contact, that's what we talking about, right? How many of you feel like Coach don't like, or you feel like Coach know the bull junk you doing, and he don't want to put up with it? Is that it? Because we don't dislike nobody in here. We want you to soar. But we don't want you to keep doing the bull junk you're doing because you're not going to be successful.
Georgia Tech got a whiteout planned. 7,000 plus student season ticket holders and 300 drones are waiting on Colorado. They ain't scheduling a football game. Tech is trying to throw a party. And yesterday, Coach Prime shocked the college football world when he talked about he might only bring 53 of his closest friends to that set. And there was something underneath that message that I think every player in the building and fans all over the world needed to hear. So, all right, we're going to put a little more wood to it today. Hey, good morning. I'm Uncle Neely, and this is Morning Wood. In a world of participation trophies and everybody gets a ribbon, it upsets some people that you can have 104 student athletes at camp and only take 53 on the road, especially considering the rules allow you to bring 74. You even had people using that old tired excuse about coach not liking a player. Come on, man. See, when things ain't going the way a player wants or even a person wants them to go, when you ain't getting the reps, when you ain't where you think you should be on the depth chart, when somebody else is running with the ones, it's easy to say, oh, coach just don't like me. Stop that. Because these coaches got too much riding on this thing to make decisions based on whether they like you. They want to win. And if you can help them win, trust me, they want you out there. So maybe the question ain't, does coach like me? Maybe the question is, if you were the coach, would you like you? Would you play you? Would you give you the ball? Do you give it your all? Are you on time for meetings? Are you locked in when you get there? Are you taking care of your body? Are you doing what you're supposed to do when nobody's watching? Are you a good teammate? Can they trust you? Because we're getting to the point in camp where talent ain't the only thing being evaluated. Trust is. And Coach Prime brought somebody up today to explain just how serious that all becomes at the next level. Coach Clancy Pendergast. Now some of these young fellas might just not know him or only know him as Coach Clancy walking around the building, but y'all got to understand who's talking. This man spent 16 seasons coaching in the NFL. My beloved Dallas Cowboys, the Cleveland Browns, the Kansas City Chiefs, and the San Francisco 49ers. He was the defensive coordinator for the Arizona Cardinals, the team that went to the Super Bowl. So when Coach Pendergast starts explaining how an NFL roster works, maybe you should listen. Because everybody talks about making the 53, but Coach Clancy broke down why the 53 really becomes 47, or maybe a push of 48 on game day. And what that means for you when coaches start deciding who can actually help them win a football game. Let's take a listen.
You don't understand how tight it is in the NFL and how hard it is to make the team. Glad you asked. I got a chart. I want you to see this chart. Come explain this, Coach.
Okay, well, basically, you have a 53-man roster in the NFL. Okay, and you can only dress so many, and usually there's 5 guys that they'll determine, that are inactive on game day. You don't have to put that in until right around game time, like an hour and a half before. So you show up to the stadium, the opposing team, you're going to get their list. Okay, the Baltimore Ravens, these guys are inactive. Okay, and so they will put 53 guys on the plane to get there, and then when they get there, based off there's more offensive personnel groups, you might need an extra DB. If it's an offense, if the offense is going to use an extra lineman in a package, might be an extra lineman. So that's how they cut their 5 off the top of the 53. So you look at the guys that run out there on game day, all right, with their jerseys on. They got 2 kickers, 1 punter, 1 kicker, 1 long snapper, 3 quarterbacks, and the third quarterback is usually inactive, and then he gets activated if he has to go into the game. Okay, 3 running backs. Okay, they'll have a 4th guy, and he might be a third down specialist, a joker, somebody to come in the slot, and he's going to be a special teams demon. All right, tight ends only 3. Now that's another position where if they're running more 3 tight end sets in normal down situations, maybe they'll have 4. They'll be one of those 53 would be a 4th tight end if you're a tight end team. O-line, you're taking 9. 2 of those guys can play center. So if you're a backup guard or you're a starting guard, you got to play center too. If starting center gets hurt, then they move it around from there. All right. Wide receivers, only 4. Okay. The 5th guy, he's got to be a special teams demon, and maybe a slot guy, specialist slot type guy. 4 interior defensive tackles. Now I generally only took 3, and then one of those 3 techniques to swing at nose. So I could take an extra defensive back or a pass rusher, depending on if we felt like we were going to maybe be in a game where we were going to get a lead and we had to get more guys out on the field for juice. Or if it was, once again, a heavy 13 personnel team, we were going to have to get bigger some, then you can take 4. All right, defensive ends, you take 4. All right, pass rushers. And then one of those guys would be a swing guy in a pinch, could play 3 technique. So he was basically a left defensive end who was 270 pounds plus, somewhere in there, that could do either or, and then rush the passer inside on 3rd down. So that's where I got my 4th pass rusher on the interior, was an edge guy moving inside on 3rd down. All right, inside linebackers, only 5. And then that 5th guy better be a special teams demon. Okay, they may take 6 if the guy's just a special teams guy. That's all he does is special teams. He's on everything. He's the up back. He's going to make all the calls on the punt team. He's going to be out there on the front line and kickoff, directing which way the kick's going to be, all that stuff. But only 5, only 4 really. 3 safeties. Okay, you know, if your safety's a nickelback type and you're going to play more 3 safety defenses, you might take 4, but generally only 3 safeties. Corners. Okay, really you're only taking 3, but you're going to take 4 because one of them's a nickelback. All right, so this number right here, in 47 could switch around a lot of different ways, but you're only 53 guys are going to get on the plane. That's the bottom line. So there's the numbers right there, and that's what you're looking at.
See how that changes everything? That changes the math? Because now you understand why special teams matters, why versatility matters, why knowing multiple positions matters, why being dependable matters, because there ain't unlimited seats. And speaking of people who matter, Coach Pendergast asked the team another question. Who are the 3 most important people in the building? Head coach, quarterback, offense coordinator, or in this case, athletic director? I'm gonna let Coach Clancy tell you himself, and I promise you, some of y'all are gonna be surprised by the answers.
Character is the most important thing, okay? You know, you're around the players so much during the season, you don't want to have to be around somebody that's a character flaw. It's just like the other day, Coach Kelly came up here and talked about the locker room, okay? What you guys don't even know is the 3 most important guys, okay, in a football team, in terms of who's making decisions on you as a player: equipment guy, the trainer, and the strength coach. And Coach Oliver could pull up right now every team in the NFL, and the head coach might get fired, but those guys have been in that building forever because they've been there at the end of the season or the end of training camp when the cuts are made, okay? And the owner looks at him and says, okay, we got this guy, we got this guy. All right, they're both making the same money. All right, well, this guy, his locker room's always dirty, okay? He's late to get taped. He misses taping. He always wants extra stuff from the equipment guy. How's this guy? Well, his locker's always clean. He doesn't bother us, doesn't ask for much, okay? He's always on time for taping. In the weight room, he's trying to be first. Every line he's there, okay? He's trying to get there. They got an easy decision, all right? And you're not, when you go to the league, man, you're not going to spend time with your position coach in the offseason. They got too much other stuff to do. They got too much other, you're not going to go to their office and hang out from 11 to 1. That ain't not, they're going to tell you, get out of here. And you might talk to the third assistant, but you ain't talking to the first one, and you'll never see the coordinator. I can tell you that. He got too much stuff to do. My last year coach, recently coached for the 49ers, I had 35 linebackers to grade. Okay, that's watching 5 games on each guy, pros and cons, writing a report, what round should he come in, be drafted in. You don't have time. That takes 6 weeks. And you only can do that in the morning because in the afternoon you're doing football. So you're going to spend all your time with those 3 people and you don't even know them. The equipment room, the training room, okay, and the strength coach. And this right here, this little key right here, get in the building, the really good teams, they look when you come in the building every day, coaches and players. Okay? The good teams look at this every single, I got great friends that are GMs in this league, and this is the first thing at 8:30 in the morning they look at. 8 o'clock team meeting, who was here? They'll look, okay? Johnny came in at 7:30. Stevie came in at 7:34. Michael, 7:55. Okay? So they look at that every single day, players and coaches. Well, you don't know that, but that's what they do. So when you do get an opportunity to put your hand on a door to go in an NFL building, you have to have the mindset they're looking to replace you every single day, coaches and players. They're looking for better, they're looking for cheaper, they're looking for anything they can do. Those guys aren't billionaires for no reason. They're businessmen. And I'll leave with this, coach. But Jerry Jones, everybody knows who he is with the Dallas Cowboys. He bought the team in 1989, okay? The trainer has been there since then. The equipment guy, family, been there since then. And they've only had like 3 strength coaches in his time since 1989, which none of you guys were born.
And then Coach Prime took it somewhere else. He talked about relationships because football is still a people business. And Prime explained something that I don't think young players always understand. When you're that guy, when you've earned that respect, when you've produced, you got some power. Coach talked about his own playing days. He said when it came to his punt return team, he had veto power because if I'm the one standing back there waiting on the football, I need to know the dudes in front of me are going to do their jobs. And here's the part that goes beyond football. People will go harder for people they know. People will protect people they trust. People will fight a little harder for somebody they actually have a relationship with. But ain't nobody going out that way to protect somebody they don't know, don't trust, and don't particularly fool with. So being a good teammate ain't just some little nice title or catchphrase to put on a t-shirt. It has value.
And character plays a big role. One thing that Coach Nib and I had a wonderful meeting. This is a great guy. I love him like a guy we've been knowing for a long time. Had a wonderful meeting about some of the special teams yesterday. And we were talking about punt return. What you call it? You know something. Ambush. And I asked him, does these guys up here get along with everybody? Because if they don't, they're not going to sacrifice themselves for that guy. So these guys are selfish. I don't want them on that team because this is all a team working for this guy. This guy could be short dog, it could be Boone, it could be whoever we deem at that appropriate timing of the game. But if they're selfish guys, how are they going to sell out to block for this guy that they don't even speak to in the locker room? Fella, would I allow you on my punt return team if I didn't like you? I went down with you. See, I was a punt returner. A highly paid punt returner. Probably the best besides Devin Hester, which I adore. So I had the propensity to say who I wanted. So I come in the punt return room, get him off, and I'm off. I'm out. Because I was dead serious about this. And guess who I could tell who got made the tackle? He was the first guy to help me up. The first guy that helped me up, that was his man. My bad, Prime, that won't happen no more. I got that. I know it won't. Because if it happens a couple more times, you out. You're right. And dogs and big time players have the ability to get you off the team.
And now let's bring all this back to Boulder. Because we're 13 days away from Georgia Tech, 13. And those seats on that plane to Atlanta, man, they're becoming prime real estate. No pun intended. Well, maybe a little pun was intended. But somebody's going to get on that plane and somebody ain't. Somebody is earning trust while somebody else is losing it. Somebody is showing these coaches, you can count on me, and somebody is still worried about whether a coach likes him. Young fella and old people, forget whether somebody likes you. Ask yourself the harder question. If you were the coach or if you were in charge, would you play you? Would you trust you with the game on the line? Would you put you on that plane? Because we're 13 days out now. The excuses are running out, the reps are getting more valuable, and the depth chart is getting tighter. And those seats to Atlanta are getting more expensive by the day. I'm Uncle Neely. That's your morning wood. Let's get it.